I had a tag, but I lost it. I can't remember which row are pinto beans and which row are green bush beans. I guess we'll have to wait to figure it out. Hope you guys are working on your gardens, getting some things growing. Again, growing a garden is like printing your own money, and it's got lots of great health benefits. So we're going to do a video kind of on that topic today, but I got to be careful because this is where you get into lands where you can get hammered by YouTube and their algorithmic robots. So there's this, it seems like this thing going on in YouTube land and just in amongst homesteaders in general right now, and that is this freak out of antibiotics being taken off of the market. Understand that the medical establishment hates you, okay? You have to get this mindset in that they want you dead, okay? They want you sick because you're just a vending machine to them, okay? This whole thing that the government is taking away antibiotics should not concern you. There are plenty of other things out there, even things that are way more effective than antibiotics will ever be that's out there. I'm going to show you my 3 go-tos today, okay? There's more out there, but I'm going to keep this consumable. So 3 things that I focus on when it comes to antibiotics rather than actual, shelf antibiotics. Do I have some of these fish antibiotics that are now illegal? I guess was it starting this last month, whatever, they've basically removed these. You can no longer buy animal antibiotics off the shelf at your veterinary supply stores or online. I think I've seen some still doing it, probably because they haven't gotten the word yet. They tried to do this kind of hush-hush because this is a pathway people have been taking for a while now, and they're trying to shut that off, okay? They want you to go through the establishment for all your needs. All that said, there is a company out there, and man, did I get some heat the other day when I was talking about that power supply system. Guys, I'm not an affiliate of any of these things that I'm like sharing with you, okay? I review certain products, especially I like power supplies because I see they provide an immediate benefit to my audience, and that's why I review them. And then I take that power supply, I'm actually giving it away to my patrons coming up at a speaking event this summer. I'm giving it away. I'm not keeping it. I have one for myself, but I'm giving this one away. And so when I review these things, it's because I know they can have a benefit to you. I'm not taking some affiliate link or anything like that. But there's a company out there that approached me a while back saying, hey, we would like you to sell our antibiotics. And I'm like, I looked at it. I looked what they were going to give me for promoting their product. And I'm like, pff. And then what it cost my audience, I'm like, I'm not going to ask my customers to pay that or my audience to pay that. That's ridiculous. What they were charging for these antibiotics was absolutely mind-numbingly insane. If you want to do that, fine. But there are much cheaper alternatives. Okay, number 1, just living a healthy lifestyle. But after that, let's go into the 3 things that I want to talk about first. Number 1 is fermenting, okay, and other probiotics. Milk kefir, water kefir, oh my gosh, what's some of the things we've done? Kombucha. These are things that provide probiotics to your body. If you have an issue that needs antibiotics, flooding your body with probiotics is a good way to take care of that problem. I promoted Perfect Pickler before. We're going to talk more about that coming up soon. I'm going to have some of these units available at speaking events that I'm going to be doing this summer. So it's like we'll talk more about that. But probiotics is your number 1 go-to. This should be something in your life that is daily. I make this stuff. I have the cabbage and radishes and all kinds of things that I ferment. And it's like for dinner at night, I just give some of this to my kids in a little bowl. It's like their medicine. But they like it. They love it. So it's like, and I love it. I think it tastes great. And so I'm doing this as a preventative measure, but it should also be something that if you get sick, going heavy into the probiotics is a great alternative to antibiotics. That's number 1. Number 2, there's something that I've talked about many times on this channel, and I'm kind of shifting focus away from that to kind of do my own thing, and that's the Nixol. It's a good brand. I love it. I've been using it for a long time, and I have seen the amazing benefits. So I have recently mentioned previously on my channel that mastitis, because we have farm animals, and farm animals, especially when it comes to milk cows, you guys who have milk cows out there, you get mastitis sometimes. So do my sheep. I had a sheep that was brought down with mastitis this last year. And she's out there grazing right now. She's out there. She's fine. Nixol. You take a needle and you shoot it up into the quarter or shoot it up into the half, whatever one you got, And, do it. I did it 2 days. I did it once, waited 3 days, did it again. And I did it in a couple different places in her quarter. And she didn't buck hardly that at all. I mean, it's a needle, but it's a small needle. And I put, I don't know how many cc's in there, but, about halfway full. I don't remember. Listeners, just put it up in there. And she was fine. And I've met people who have lost. They go the antibiotics route. They go to their vet and I got mastitis. And they go to their vet and they're like, well, here's some antibiotics. And they try that and the cow still dies. Or the quarter is no longer usable, for the milking. So I have used this many times. I have had other neighbors, friends who have used this for mastitis and other things to treat, infections and stuff like that. Nixol is the way to go. Now, I said I'm shifting focus here because now you can get your generators. I am a big colloidal silver, which is another thing we're not going to talk about today, but colloidal silver is basically on the same lines as Nixol, okay? I love colloidal silver. I have my own generator for colloidal silver. I've been using colloidal silver for years, decades now, okay? Long before I even got to the Homestead. And hypochlorous acid, which is what Nixol is like the big brother of colloidal silver in my opinion. Colloidal silver is fantastic. But if you really want to hit the hammer down hard, Nixol is the way to go. Or hypochlorous acid, which is what this is. You can get your own generators now on Amazon. Find one that's actually, has good reviews and stuff like that. And you can find that on Amazon and make your own. And that's where I'm going to be shifting focus. Years ago, because I've been doing colloidal silver for years, I bought my own generator to make my own colloidal silver at home. And I do. I have that. I'm going to do the same thing for this because this is, again, the big brother. If you need to have something like this on standby. Kid gets the flu. Some sort of, lung infection or whatever. Nixol or hypochlorous acid inside of this mixed with 50-50 water. Breathe that in. I got to be careful about things I say here. But in the lungs, take care of it. Take care of it. I had my oldest son who had 104-degree temperature a couple years ago. And, I'm a big believer letting fever take its toll on the body. That's the body's way of getting rid of things that don't need to be there. So I'm a big proponent of letting the fever go. But once it gets a certain level, I'm like, okay, now I got to step in. Within seconds, the fever was brought down. I am a big proponent of this. There's lots of ways you can do things. You can always turn to medicines and do all these little things. There are other opportunities, alternatives, things that are way more natural. Within seconds, the fever was brought down. So that's my second alternative, hypochlorous acid, whether it's Nixol or something else. And again, colloidal silver is in that category too, and I'm a big fan of colloidal silver, but that's the big brother. The third thing I'm going to talk about is something that you also can be doing on your homestead. You can be growing this stuff, and that is garlic when it comes to antibiotics. Garlic, there was years ago when Jamie had cancer, she had her first surgery, and she got an infection, and they were really worried about it. And I had a product called Allicin on hand, okay? You can buy this online. Do not buy this on Amazon, okay? Years ago when I was researching Allicin, there was a report out there that there was counterfeit Allicin that was being sold on Amazon. When it comes to something like this, you need to make sure you find it from the product's website and only buy it from them or an authorized retailer. there was counterfeit allicin, which is basically garlic in pill form, that was being sold on Amazon. So, but we did that. I had a bunch of it on hand, and because I knew this was coming up, and the doctor said, yes, you definitely have an infection, and they were really worried about it because, if you know, infections are really the #1 killer in hospitals. Nothing has killed more people in hospitals than infection. And so it knocked it out. Doctors were like, wow, this is really clearing up. Yeah, it's because it's the garlic. I'm doing the garlic. And so, like, I mean, I don't know how many times I was fighting with doctors on stuff like that when, it came to her. But we were like this all the time. I had to, I won't get into that. All kinds of crazy stuff. But allicin, garlic, you can grow your own garlic. Put garlic raw. I met a woman who was, years ago when I was a teenager. She was in her upper 90s, and they were celebrating. The whole town came together to celebrate her birthday. It was a small town. I think it was like near Piedmont, Missouri, or somewhere like that. And someone asked her at the birthday party, what do you recommend for a long life? And every day she said, I eat a raw garlic and a raw onion. and she was in great shape. She still had like this old 1950s model car she drove around town. I mean, or she could drive around town. The family was trying to get her away from that. But, she was like 98 years old. What's the one thing you have to recommend for a long life? Raw garlic and raw onion every day. Now, I don't know if she ate a whole one every day. Maybe it was just a clove. Maybe it was just, a couple slices of an onion. I don't know. But it makes sense. That stuff, I mean, you mix honey with onion and you make a good, cold flu, remedy for that. It's lots talking. You find all kinds of information about that online. There's something about onion and garlic that's medicinal, highly, highly medicinal. Garlic, grow it, use it, eat it raw. I know it tastes horrible raw. It's spicy, but and people are not going to want to. Your spouse is not going to want to kiss you. Well, make them eat it too, and you'll be fine. But there is something highly, highly medicinal about garlic and onion, and garlic especially when it comes to being something that's very probiotic and is an antibiotic alternative. Hopefully YouTube does not take down this video. There's the 3 things, okay? Probiotics, hypochlorous acid, and garlic. 3 things that if I need antibiotics, I'm turning to that stuff first before. Yes, I have the fish stuff and I have the pet stuff and the animal. I got all that stuff before and it's stored up. If I need it, I've never used it. I have had fish antibiotics for over a decade, well over a decade. Never used it once. Never needed it. Even for animals. I've always used other alternatives because I have them. If I need it, I've got it, but I've got other things that I would prioritize over that stuff. I hope that makes sense. Anyway, people are freaking out right now about antibiotics. What are we going to do? How are we going to survive? Well, I'm going to have to go to a doctor to get my prescriptions for now. No, you don't. You don't need it. You've got to switch your mindset. I put doctors and people in the health profession in the same category today as I put lawyers and politicians. So there you go. All right, guys, leave a comment below. Let me know what you're doing. Is there something else out there that you're doing that I haven't mentioned? Please put a comment below. I know there's other things out there. I know there are. And I'm like, I want to keep it simple, consumable. 3 things. Leave a comment below. Something you post may help someone else who's looking for the information. So I really appreciate when you do that. And share the video, please, because people are freaking out about this. Please share the video. You don't need to freak out. All right, guys. See you next time in the Homestead. Bye. Alexander the Great. Did you know when he died, his body was placed in a coffin made of solid gold? Decades later, Ptolemy X and Cleopatra III stole the coffin and gold artifacts just so they could pay their war debts. Germany, at the time of World War II, stole all of the gold they could get their hands on, and much of it still today has not yet been accounted for. You see, all throughout history, when times get tough, people, either good or bad, seek real wealth. They turn to gold and silver. The central banks and Wall Street cheerleaders would have you believe that gold and silver are just shiny rocks with no real value. But did you know that central banks around the world have for the last year been buying record amounts of gold and silver for stockpiling? Stockpiling for what? What do they know that they're not telling us? Genesis Gold Group is a proud supporter of an American homestead. They help people get out of locked-in 401ks and IRAs into something that's real, physical gold and silver. If you're going to be locked into something, it might be a good idea to talk to Genesis Gold Group about being locked into something physically vaulted instead of just a piece of paper that at the end of the day is just that, a piece of paper. It's a clear surety that our economy is headed for turbulent waters. The nation is currently over $31 trillion in debt, and Congress keeps spending money and the Fed keeps printing it. That does not bode well for anyone keeping and saving money in savings accounts or paper-denominated assets. Call Genesis Gold Group today, this instant, or visit them online at genesisgoldgroup.com. They can put together a strategy that's right for you. And be sure to say that you heard about them from an American Homestead.
Hey guys, did you know you can become a patron of an American Homestead? They get access to private videos, and we send them gifts from the homestead that we make here on the homestead. And we also enter our patrons into special giveaways that are only available to them. And before you go, please check out these other great videos. Go ahead, click. I'll wait.